my father's house. Peace, peace, peace. They all up over there in my father's house. Awesome in my father's house. Awesome in my father's house. They all up over there in my father's house. There is peace, peace, peace. So come and go with me to my father's house. Awesome to my father's house. Welcome to my father's house.
All rise. Face the east. He had a 45 on the east side, making 90-degree angle. 5 on your left hand, 2 on your right. Repeat after me the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My God.
And my salvation.
My salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
First, I rise and give praise to Allah, author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, incomprehensible. I give honor to his holy, illustrious prophet, noble Drew Ali, savior of humanity. I give honor to the harbinger of the prophet, Marcus Messiah Garvey. I give honor to all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. We give honor to all past leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother C. Kirkland Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay. We give honor to the past Supreme Grand Advisor, the past Supreme Grand Sheikh and Moderator, Brother R. Love Ill. We give honors to our present Grand Sheikh and Moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay. We give honors to the Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother D. Clark Ill, and to his assistant, Brother A. Gators Ill. We give honors to all officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America, supporting Temple number 34, started with our Grand Sheikh, Brother W. Clinton Bay, and his assistant, Sister C. Silge Ill. We give honors to our chairman, Brother C. Ferguson Ill, his assistant, Brother L. Serrano Bay. We give honors to our secretary, Sister J. Jordan Ill, her assistant, Brother I. Smith Ill. We give honors to the treasurer, Brother J. Jordan Ill, his assistant, Brother K. Turner Bay. We give honors to everything that the prophet brought for the uplifting of fallen humanity. Honors to everything holy, everything pertaining to Islam, please. I want to take a read from the Moorish Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution, our bylaws, salvation, our God, unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs as he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the state government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and part of this said government, and know that they are not Negro, colored folk, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part in all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of all humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds filled with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father by Allah. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. I took a read from the Moorish Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I will now take a read from the Great Meaning of Zohar Quran Questions for Moorish Americans. Turning attention to page 7. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand chiefs and governors and heads of all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc. That will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc. by the Prophet or the Grand Chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their added meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting periods, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he'll be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplift Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting the people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love,
Definitely mentally ill because he
freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teachers must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negro, colored folk, Black people, or Ethiopian, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Member must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. I've taken a read from the questionnaire, Lord, for the Moorish Americans by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. Next, I'm gonna take a read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7 Symbols, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Jew Ali, by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of light with his father God Allah. I'm gonna turn to page 11, chapter 6. Divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 6, life and works of Jesus in India among the Muslims. A royal prince of India, Ravana, in the south, was met at the Jewish feast. Ravana was a man of wealth, and he was just, and with a band of Brahmic priests sought wisdom in the west. When Jesus stood among the Jewish priests and read and spoke, Ravana heard and was amazed. And when he asked who Jesus was, from whence he came, and what he was, Chief Hillel said, "We call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel." And Hillel told Ravana all about the child, about the prophecies concerning him, about the wonders of the night when he was born, about the visit of the Magian priest, about the way in which he was protected from the wrath of evil men, about his flight to Egypt land, and how he was serving with his father as a carpenter in Nazareth. Ravana was entranced and asked to know the way to Nazareth, that he might go and honor such a one as son of Allah. And with his gorgeous train, he journeyed and came to Nazareth of Galilee. He found the object of his search, engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men. And when he first saw Jesus, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. Ravana said, "All hail, most favored son of heaven." And at the end, Ravana made a feast for all the people of the town. And Jesus and his parents were the honored guests. For certain days, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home on Merriman Way. He sought to learn the secret of the wisdom of the sun, but it was all too great for him. And then he asked that he might be the patron of the child, might take him to the east, where he could learn the wisdom of the Brahm. And Jesus longed to go that he might learn. And after many days, his parents gave consent. Then, with proud heart, Ravana, with his train, began the journey toward the rising sun. And after many days, they crossed the sand and reached the provinces of Orissa and the palace of the prince. The Brahmic priests were glad to welcome home the prince, With favor, they received the Jewish boy. And Jesus was accepted as a pupil in the temple of Jargonon. And here he learned the Vedas and the Manic law. The Brahmic priests wondered at the clear conceptions of the child, and often were amazed when he explained to them the meaning of the law. Our meeting has been open according to the laws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Thank you everyone in attendance, both online and in person. And now we'd like to turn the meeting over to our grand sheik to conduct the Sunday school. Peace.
Peace. Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, We're the nearest place to meet him. We need them all in our hearts. Oh, we need them all in our hearts. Oh, we need them all in our hearts. We're the nearest place to meet him. We need them all in our hearts. It feels like fire stirred up. Fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, Who is noble to Ali? He's the prophet of Allah. He's the prophet of Allah. He's the prophet of Allah. Who is noble to Ali? He's the prophet of Allah. Feels like fire stirred up. Fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, Islam, Moorish American? Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Brother, Assistant Secretary, tell us who we have online on the Zoom meeting. Islam.
We have Brother J. Coleman,
Brother J. Coleman here.
Brother J. Davis here,
Brother J. Davis here.
Sister C. Seals here,
Sister C. Seals here. Assistant Grand Sheik is Islam.
Brother X. Kingbe,
Brother X. King Bay, Islam.
and then we have Sister Secretary, Sister J. Jordan Neal,
Sister J. Jordan Neal. Praise Allah.
Sister Michaela Jordan Neal,
Michaela Jordan Neal.
and
Praise Allah.
Brother D. Almond Bay,
Brother D. Almond Bay, Chicago.
and Grand Sheik Brother Juan Cyrus here.
The Grand Sheik of the White Cyrus here. Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Another Sunday school. Why don't we give praise and Allah in the temple? Islam. Why don't y'all rise if you don't mind? I never did this until I came to the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I do it all the time. I rise and give praise to Allah,
Allah,
the Father of the universe.
the Father of the universe,
I give honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
the Father of Ali,
founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to all of the prophets of Allah,
We honor the prophets of Allah,
to all the harbingers,
all the harbingers,
all the angels,
all the angels,
all the sages,
all the sages,
all the masters,
all the masters,
all my brothers and sisters
all my brothers and sisters
of the light.
of the light.
We give honor to the leadership of the Moorish America,
We honor to the leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
national, state, and local.
national, state,
Give honor to our Grand Sheik,
give honor to our Grand Sheik,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones
We
Bay.
give honor to everything.
We give honor to everything
Sister E. Jones Bay
that Sister E. Jones Bay
gave honor to.
gave honor to.
Peace.
Peace.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. You know, just thinking it's so good to be in the temple. You know, there's a story that I was thinking about Prophet Muhammad. You know, of course, we know that Prophet Muhammad was born around when, Brother Smithfield?
Islam.
Islam, Prophet Muhammad.
Praise the Lord is already given. To my understanding, Prophet Muhammad was born in 610 or earlier.
See, that sounds shaky.
6th century.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark, as they say. All right, he's gonna Google it right now. Brother Ilordia.
Islam, honors and praise already given. If I'm correct, I believe that should be approximately 625 AD.
Okay, so we got 625. I did say when he was born, right, Brother Skipper?
Yeah.
I ain't say when he passed. We did say born. Right, Brother Skipper Bay?
It's on.
It's on.
I think it was 578.
570 AD,
That's correct.
and he passed. 620,
That's 632.
632. All right? So we could put it on our thing to know list, right? Prophet Muhammad was born 570, right?
Okay.
Common era, Christian era,
Mhm.
in the year of our Lord, AD, Al-Nami,
Mhm.
passed away 632.
That's right.
Prophet who?
Muhammad.
Prophet Muhammad. Now, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born when? Sister Trinity. When was Prophet Noble Drew Ali born? The prophet. Very good. See that? See what following the questionnaire you got. You want to stand up or everything all right? Cause Allah got you good legs to stand up in the temple. Praise Allah. So I'm glad we got the year. Come on, stand on up. Don't let your light shine. Everybody want to see your light. All right, 1886. You know what month? Prophet's birthday.
Oh, January, wait, what?
You got it. January 8th, 1886. Thank you so much. And your mother gonna tell us when the prophet passed. Yes, Mom?
Go up.
Okay,
Okay.
so, if I'm correct,
Hey, put it down, that's
No,
cheating.
I'm
That's
not cheating.
That's
Oh,
cheating.
she's demonstrating. Watch the demonstration.
if I'm correct, this affidavit was filed a year before the prophet was born, but, a year before the prophet passed on, so.
What's the terminology you use? Because I know you
Passed
always,
on,
no, before that, start over. This, say what you said.
this affidavit
Go ahead.
was filed
This affidavit was filed.
in Cook County to make it a religious corporation.
Okay, so now look at it real quick
That
and
was,
tell me when it was filed.
oh, July 20th, excuse me.
Wait, look
July
at it.
20th,
Don't think about what people tell you. Look at the document, like you look at documents.
it says recorded August 1st,
Okay,
1928,
okay.
but the prophet passed on July 20th,
Right.
1929.
Right. So that affidavit is telling about what happened previously in the month
Right,
on July 20th.
Right.
And the date is correct, sister. 1929, a year after our authority date, prophet passed, all right? So the prophet Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Muhammad. There's a story I was thinking about Prophet Muhammad. I don't know if the Moors know the story, but I'm gonna tell the story. So he goes from Mecca and he's taken by this being to what they call Jerusalem, to an area known today as the Dome of the Rock. Why they have a particular area there for this occasion. And then he rose up into the seventh heaven. First heaven, second heaven, third heaven, fourth heaven, fifth heaven, sixth heaven, seventh heaven. And those who Google and quick, you can Google it right now. Prophet Muhammad goes to the seventh heaven. And the story says it's there when he had communion with Allah that it determined how many times the Muslims should pray. You know, you should pray this many times, and he's okay. Then I think the prophet Moses was like, oh, they're not gonna pray that many times. They went back and forth and finally came up with the 5. All right, but that's not the part of the story I'm talking about. The part of the story is that he ascended to the seventh heaven. There's something in the questionnaire where it talks about the adept chamber of the Moorish Science Temple of America, third heaven, seventh heaven, third heaven. It comes to why? Brother Coleman, Islam, oh, I think I seen you on Islam. Brother Coleman. Coleman. All right. Brother Barkenberry Bay. You more, y'all gotta be quick. If y'all in Quran class, y'all gotta be quick. Brother Brockenberry Bay.
Islam.
Islam, how you doing?
Good, I'm good, I'm well.
Praise Allah. Honor to the prophet. Let me ask you a question. I see you got your fez on.
Yes, sir.
Why do I have a fez on? Why do you have a fez on? Why, and related to why the sisters have a turban on?
You're asking me why,
Wearing a
why
fez
am I
and
wearing a
turban.
fez?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're asking me why I'm wearing a fez?
Yes.
Because it's our divine national headdress.
Okay, break down the divine part.
Divine part is the connection to Allah and connection to the universe.
Very good. I love it. I love it. And break down the turban. Brother Brockenberry Bay.
Yes, sir. The turban is well, men and women wear turban. I've seen men wear turban as well. I'm not quite familiar with the reason why people wear turbans as much as I am with the reason why people will wear the fez.
Okay, sounds like a homework. Sounds like some homework.
It does.
Okay, sounds like the brother gave himself homework. I like that self-homework. Praise Allah. Brother Coleman. Islam, unmute yourself.
Islam Grand Street.
How you doing?
All is well, praise Allah.
Good, I see you with a fez on. Why are you wearing a fez?
For my religious headdress.
Okay, and what's your religion about?
It's about peace. Islamism, the practice of peace.
What does the word religion mean?
Religion?
Yeah.
Religion. Hold on. I'm about to look that up real quick.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
No.
Religion is basically about practicing something you believe when it comes to God, like worshiping, Allah, things like that. Religion means to me.
You ever heard me say that the word religion comes from a Latin word, regaliae?
Regaliae. Praise Allah.
That means to bind back.
To bind back.
You ever heard people say they're practicing yoga?
Yes, sir.
That's to yoke back. All of this is about a connection, right? Going from the first heaven, right? You know our first heaven down here, right? Some money. Our first heaven, a nice lady. You know what I'm saying? Our first heaven that we see on this earth plane. You know about the first heaven? Huh? Sister Autumn? The first heaven.
What?
The first heaven. Okay. So we're talking about heaven. We're talking about different degrees. So when everyone comes in the temple, right? We're coming in basically from the world out there. Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. Those are our principles, right? The bigger you are, the stronger you are, the mightier you are. Imperialism, colonialism, slavery, right? Why a man hits a woman, right? He wouldn't be hitting a woman if the women were bigger than him.
Right.
How many men you know hit a woman that's bigger than them and stronger than them? Huh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, trying to take advantage. Why do people abuse children? Because they smaller, because they can. Right? Survival of the best becomes the law. This is the first lowest plane. But there's other planes. We're ascending. We come in here. Children of the darkness. We don't want the light. When the light shines in the dark, we comprehend it not. So now the prophet somehow does something to you. It's where I, the prophet, found you. Not that this brother knows Sister Jones Bay here. Now he's up here taking notes in the temple. Not that this sister was as the daughter of this sister, and that's why she's here. You gotta look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. The great God of the universe gave you this mother, gave her that daughter, made you meet her on that train, made you come to the temple, made you put a turban on your head, and you put a fez on your head. Let's be conscious. That's what I'm trying to say as we start our Quran class. Let's get off of that first heaven thing. Let's ascend to the second heaven at least. Let's ascend to the second heaven where the sister knows she has a workshop in her mind where things are made of thought. And now she can build up the character to ascend. Where the brother realizes that, where we all realize that. So wherever we are along the way, it's about ascension. And if you're going down, I guess it's somewhere about putting some brakes on. You know what I'm saying? Where the prophet says, I'd rather, don't say to yourself, you don't be the fool by half. Meaning that if you've been half foolish today, hey, Allah allows U-turns. Go in the bathroom, wash your face, whatever, go say a prayer, listen to your favorite song, switch it up. All right? Praise Allah. All right, let's go into the questionnaire for a second. Now, imagine if the prophet came, Marcus Garvey. Any of you, how many people in this room ever heard Marcus Garvey's voice on a tape recorder? Right? Heard how powerful it was? Right? Is he gonna be up here? Who made you?
No.
He's gonna be, who made you? He's gonna be,
Yeah.
he got this deep voice and he kind of like the way he talks, like he's getting you told, you know what I mean? And what he's saying is correct, so you just sit there and take it. Like when your parents give you a spanking and you deserve the spanking, you no need to be crying, no need to be talking back, just take a spanking like a man or woman and keep it going. But class, let me ask you, who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Drew Ali?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
Prophet is the thought of Allah manifested in flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
Save the nation from the wrath of Allah.
Right, the first seven questions, right, and answers, right? Sister Autumn, welcome to Quran class. As you might have noticed, when the temple was opened by your mother, right, you noticed that you came here for a purpose, and I have a few questions for you. All right, Islam. Do you know the first seven questions? You got it down? Okay, listen. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah.
Can we see him?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet him? Who is Noble Drew Ali?
He's Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
A prophet is the thought of Allah manifested in flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save the nation from the wrath of Allah.
So how many questions and answers do you know? All of them? Just randomly give you, see where you are along the way. 65, what is the devil sometimes called? It's close, the lowest up. And what does Ethiopia mean? Ethiopia means something divided, but you did very well, very well. I'm sure your older sister, Sister Trinity, I have a few questions for you. Islam. Praise Allah. Let's go a little further. Let's go question 8. Who is the founder of the Moorish Science of America? Noble Drew Ali. What year was the Moorish Science?
Repeat the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Question 8. Who is the founder of the Moorish Science of America?
Noble Drew Ali.
What year was the Moorish Science of America founded?
1913 AD,
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Drew Ali born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish Americans?
We are descendants of Moroccans and born in America.
Very good. Thank you so much. Islam, but Skipper Bay, Islam. Islam. For what purpose was the Moorish Science of America founded?
For the uplifting of fallen humanity,
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish American?
by teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism,
Is that a new or is that an old time religion?
old time religion,
What kind of flag is the Moorish?
the red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
All right, peace. All right. Brother Ani Bey, Islam. What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
Is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
It's Friday, the first day of the day in which man was formed in flesh. Wait, they,
You got it.
Man.
You got it.
Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh,
it was on Friday, departed out of flesh,
who was Jesus.
who was the prophet of the law.
Where was he born?
It's, in Bethlehem, in Judah, in the house of David.
Thank you, praise Allah. All right, brother, hey, Anton, how do you? Antonio, you want to participate?
I'm not
ready
ready for this.
All right, relax. All right, let's go to brother I Lord El,
Islam.
Islam. Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give in brief the line genealogy to which Jesus came?
The line through which Jesus came, Joseph through Mary.
Some of the great fathers
Some of the great fathers
through which Jesus came
through which Jesus came,
are
Joseph,
Abraham, Boaz by Ruth,
Boaz by Ruth,
Jesse,
Jesse,
King David,
King David,
Solomon,
Solomon,
Hezekiah,
Hezekiah,
and Joseph by Mary.
and Joseph by Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save
Israel,
the Asiatics from the oppression from the Palestinian nations of Europe who were governing a portion of Africa at that time.
all right, to save the Israelites
Israelites.
from the iron and oppression of the Palestinian nation of Europe, who were governing a portion of Palestine at that time. How long has that been?
2,000 years ago.
About 2,000 years ago. What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabitess,
What is the modern name for Moabites?
Morocco,
All right, praise Allah, peace.
pigs.
All right, brother Smithfield,
Islam.
Islam. Did you get questions?
Yeah.
All right, sister, I'm sorry, she was over there, she was like, give me questions now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Islam.
Islam, sister E. Jones Bay.
Islam.
All right, praise Allah. Where's the Moroccan Empire?
What person, Islam?
What is the modern name for Mexico?
Africa.
What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan
Where do we get the name Jesus?
from the east.
What year was the Holy Quran of Moorish Science America published?
Excuse me?
What year was the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of America published?
1927?
Yes. Thank you.
Mm.
Praise Allah. Brother Smithia,
Islam.
Islam. Islam. Praise Allah.
Praise up.
According to science, how many days are in a year?
7 days,
How many days are in a creation?
7 days,
How many days are in the circle?
7 days,
What is Elohim sometimes called?
7 creative spirits of Allah, the 7 eyes of Allah,
What is Elohim sometimes called?
the 7 eyes of Allah.
Who is Elohim?
Elohim,
Elohim is the seven
Elohim is the 7 creative spirits of Allah.
created spirits that created.
Everything that ever was, is, or will be.
Who made the devil?
Elohim.
Is the devil made in the image and the likeness of Allah?
No, he's a shadow of Allah, so will pass away.
To whom it refers time as being the great God?
Allah.
Will you define the word white?
White means purity, purity means God, God means ruler of the land.
What title does Satan give himself?
God.
Why?
Why does Satan give himself the title of God?
No, if you're following along, I'm going backwards in the Quran, so you gotta figure out why.
I gotta figure out why.
I give you a clue. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian?
No,
Why?
Because he is made in the image and after the likeness of God.
What does Ethiopia mean?
Ethiopia means something divided.
What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that's been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed.
What is meant by the word black?
Black, according to science, means death.
Negro.
River, a river in West Africa.
Mm.
A name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contains black.
All right, peace.
Praise the Lord.
Brother Brockenberry Bay. Islam. Brother Brockenberry Bay, I see you more. Come on.
Islam, I'm trying to get the buttons to press. My phone
I
fell
got
off.
you. Listen, did you see the brother demonstrating?
Yes, I did.
So you heard we want to know it forward and backwards, right?
Yes.
Right? I don't know if the brother could pull up. Prophet has on his business card, and his office is at 181 Warren Street in Newark, New Jersey. And on there, he talk about how he can, I forgot the wording, but something about the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. You know what I'm saying? Like he could give you understanding. So we want to have understanding. You come in here, you don't know question one. Now you know question one. You build on that. Understanding is the rock on which what? Man builds himself. Right? We're buildings.
Islam.
Right? If you didn't know it, you're in the construction industry now. Sister Trini, you're a construction worker. You know, what are you building? You're building your temple of perfected man, like that canvas. This is your temple. Your foundation. We all got that similar foundation. It should be that same foundation, right? Purity and love. John and Jesus, chapter 2, came to bring us the foundation stone. We got our foundation stone. That's how we ascended. We're on our stone. How do we get to love? By purifying ourselves. How does purity come effect? This purity is washed away by purity in life. You wash away your sin, just like you take the little Tide or you take your little wash thing and you put your dirty clothes, right? You put your Antonio, Brother Clendename, we put our dirty selves from this dirty world and our dirty thoughts, and we start cleaning ourselves up. Sometimes you need a little spot removal. You need a little brush on some areas, you know, but it's all a metaphor to try to understand what you're doing here. This is not a history class. This is not no African-American studies class. This is not when some brothers and sisters get together and shoot the breeze and talk about the Moors in the past. We're talking about I am. What are you? What are you for a second? All right? Think about it for a second. Let's just take a break for a second. Everybody just relax themselves. Don't think of yourself as a mom, working at a job, somebody's daughter, somebody's business partner. Just not as a Moorish American, not as a Muslim, none of that. Just soak it in for a second. That you're conscious. Not just conscious that no one knocked you out. No, like feel you're alive. These other conscious beings here. Just think about that. You're conscious. Now in that consciousness, right? You can put on your canvas anything you want. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first. How can you manifest it without seeking first the kingdom? From the kingdom, everything is manifested. Seek first the Creator itself. Whoever heard the expression that Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein? You heard that? Belani, baby, you heard that? So if Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein, and I'm thinking, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, where am I going to seek it? Do I have to go somewhere to seek this kingdom? Where is this kingdom? Huh? Within yourself.
In the heart.
In the heart. I am. Aren't you conscious? Just think about it. The first step. Do you believe that you are God? Perhaps it's true. I mean, some of you are on different levels. But all of you here in the Moorish Side should have at least that first step. You know, I don't know, it sounds good. I hear people say it. You know what I'm saying? You know? Do you believe you're God? You say, perhaps it's true. Wow, I'm not sure. Perhaps it's true. Well, how does a man who thinks perhaps he might be God, you see what I'm saying? At least the man who thinks he's not God and God's somewhere else, and he got to go see his minister, or priest, his rabbi, imam, or someone, an uncle, or someone who's more experienced than they are to maybe communicate or pray for him to God. He's walking around the world like, oh man, will you pray for me? Will you pray for me? Someone help me, oh God, please help me. Right? When I go to the church, where do I go to find God, to pray for God, right? That's at one level, right? So now the man or woman who seen a little bit of light, heard a little light, and in that light it says, you're God. God's not outside, you are God.
Right.
And you're like, perhaps that's true. So that's where, oh, I could be God. Oh, I could be God. I'm just the one. Oh, I could be God. Oh my God, I said, could be. Oh, sounds good, sister, sounds good, I'm God. You already mean, I'm God after me. No, I'm not God. I'm not God. That's how you are. You unbelief. Now the other brother, sister, hey, oh, they got their robe on, they got their turban on, got their button, their circle 7, got a turban with the crescent up there, the only woman in the world that got a turban, only woman in the world wears a turban like that, the Moorish American sister, in case you want to know a little trivia. Okay, it's on.
We have a hand from Brother W. Brockenberry.
All right, get right back to him, brother man. All right, so here you are. I am God. You gotta make your name I, Lord, is. You know what I mean? Going back to the 5%, Brother Sakiel, Brother Clarkiel, Hertman came in there, Supreme Justice Allah. Shoot, we were like, they wasn't joking. They were like, I'm God. And this is my earth. But then the prophet switched it around. The earth said, yeah, I'm earth and I'm God too. Yeah. So check yourself. You know what I'm saying? Man always trying to make a second. But she's first. You can't have a man without a woman. Even when Allah made Adam, you don't know how he made him. Well, a woman's in him. You got to understand the science. All right? So now you want to go because like the Moorish Americans walking around, that's how we walk around. People looking at you, you seem different. Now, because I don't believe, I know who I am. Like what did Erykah Badu say when it was song? Why don't you call us by our names? You know who we are. You know what I'm saying? You know? So it's that psychological thing. You know? That a young man in the 60s like myself, you know, all I saw was the European men on the newscasts. And they said that the head European man was the president. And the head European man in New York City was the mayor. And the man on the dollar bill, the Europeans, was those are our forefathers. I was like, man, when we went into the church, this was God. He looked like the European. Now, part of me personally, my personal spirit was all right a little bit with it because my mom was European. So, you know, I'm a young man. I'm kind of working with that part. You know, I came into the house one day, part of busing. My sister's a Black Panther. I walked in there about 10 years old, 11 years old. I'm white, I'm bright, and I'm dynamite. They said, what? That's my friends at school, that's what they say. My little Jewish European friends. That was their answer to Black Power. My sister's like, come here. And she kind of, whatever you could do with 11-year-old, but she explained it to me. And I'm not gonna say that no more, am I? Right? But so the whole thing is that you wanna remember that beyond that part of the nationality, beyond that part of what we try to reflect on each other, is a spirit inside of us, a light. Not necessarily it's a woman or a man or a child. It's a light. And we're trying to ascend. So these lessons are not just to say, from the secrets of Allah, let man learn wisdom and apply to himself the instructions they give. All right? Now, Brother Brockenberry Bay, Brother Cyrus here. Let's go with Brother Brockenberry Bay. Islam more.
Islam. I had a question.
Yeah.
On question 92, it says, what title does Satan give himself? And it says God. And I was just wondering, I was like, is we're recognizing ourselves as God and the connection to God. Is that but in you know, in the questionnaire it says Satan gives himself that title too. So like I'm a little confused, but I'm kind of not. I'm just trying not to like assume, you know, like, oh, I think I know what I'm talking about, or I think I know what
What
this
is,
is. I just wanted
what
to
does the
clarify
word,
to make sure that
what does the
I'm
word God mean?
not getting it wrong. Like when they say that, when they say what title does Satan give himself God, are they saying that because in other questions they say that there were labels that were put on the on us, the Moorish, you know, or the Moorish Americans or the Moroccans, and they were saying the devil, the dragon, Satan, and all these Lucifer, and is that because, you know, we have two selves, we have a higher and a lower self, and we have, you know, it's truth and lies strangely mixed, because, you know, at the same time we are God and we are divine and we're connected to Allah, but at the same time we also have a lower self, a physical self, and it's mixed together. They're bonded together. So it's like us recognizing that we're God, is that our lower self acknowledging our higher self?
I mean, you said it.
I wanted to ask.
You up here teaching in the temple. Should I go home? Think about it. Think about it. Now realize, right? It says, what title does Satan give himself? Right? So what does God mean? Isn't God like a ruler? Right? So he's giving himself the title, right? Right? That doesn't mean he is. Right?
Gotcha.
You could go, Brother Brockenberry Bay, you can go online right now. You can get yourself a nice Black Fez. You can get yourself a Circle 7. You can order all this stuff and you could proclaim that you are the Grand Mufti of the Moorish Science of America. You can give yourself a title. And that's what we all do. But you know where the prophet talks about at the end of Acts 7? Talk about if you do these things, you're entitled. You're entitled to the name of faithful. There's a difference between being entitled to something and just giving yourself something. All right? And so I think that what happens is, since we have these phrases that you hear when you study religion and esoteric sciences and the mystery schools about the gods, usually it's a small g with an S, right? Even Elohim was known as gods, the 7 created spirits, gods. And then we talk about the demigods, who the gods who mixed with women, or wasn't almost a god, the demigods, like a half a god. All right? But then the prophet qualifies to talk about, okay, this is what man did. So let's just qualify it. The great God, okay? With the big G. Okay. So we're not understanding, because there's some people in different religions, they will tell us that Allah is the moon god. He's a small god. That Allah is a small god, a moon god from Arabia. But we're not talking about that. Matter of fact, a name the prophet gave to us, Allah, yes, but we know that every nation has a name for Allah, right? And I mentioned Friday that when Moses asked God his name, he says, I am that I am, right? So you could call him Thoth, or you could call him Brahma, you could call him Jehovah, or you could call him Allah. As long as we all on the same page there, I'm not talking about Elohim, I'm not talking about a demigod, I'm talking about the causeless cause, the rootless root from which all things have come. Okay, so you call him Zeus, that's fine, I'm calling him Allah. As long as we're talking about the same thing. All right, let's skip a bit. I'll get right to Brother Cyrus here. Let's go to Brother Skipper Bay in the temple. Then Cyrus here next. This on.
You know, it's interesting that you take another look at the deity, because it's interesting how we always have to relate to this deity that we are made in his image and his likeness. So we use words that relatively relate to us, like he,
She.
his, you know, because But you just said, Allah is really above all of them. See, and when you say every nation has a name for Allah, that is true. But Allah is the name of the supreme being above all names. When you really see how it's laid out here, because you could trace back, you could also trace back Thoth, who is a man in Egypt, a god, demigod.
Yes.
You could trace back the word Jehovah, which comes from the Pentagram. You can trace back these different roots of these particular names. Parabram, you can trace that back
Mhm.
to the Trinity of India. So you can trace these different things back. But when it comes from Allah, Allah is a name that is the root from which all things come, and the root is endless. It's endless. It's no beginning or no end. So once we understand that, and I try to tell this to brothers and sisters a lot, that if you take a deep breath, or if you can hear yourself take a deep breath, and when you take that deep breath, you automatically give a response of a sound. And that sound is Allah when you let that breath out. Automatically. So once we understand that that's the spirit, and the spirit in Latin is breath, you see, we have that rooted name, which is Allah, as the root, this root causes cause, which all things have come. So when you're saying God is just some people say it's just a word, but actually it's a Greek word, and it comes from theos, the deity that rode the chariot of the sun. You see, it's a theology term, going to theology, but actually it's Greek, and that's what it means. But if you're talking about the forces of the universe, when you're talking about God,
Praise Allah.
and Elohim is basically what was changed to God from the Hebrew. When you do the study from the original text into the Bible, from the Latin and the Hebrew, from the Hebrew to the Greek. If you do the study, you know that Elohim was changed to God.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Thank you so much. We got brother, our former Grand Chief, Brother White Cyrus Hill online. That's on, Brother Grand Chief.
Islam, Grand Sheikh, praise Allah, and honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all of the Moors in the Sunday school this afternoon. Yeah, my question was very similar to Brother Brackenberry's base, and hopefully you can help me clarify this, Grand Sheikh. As I'm thinking about the same statement, I've always recognized I noticed a red line myself. I placed a red line on the understanding of, Allah and man are one, and I am God. In the Quran, it talks about bow in chapter 35. It says that we're supposed to bow down ourselves in humble and submissive obedience to His supreme discretion. Bowing down ourselves and submitting ourselves to the great God Allah. It also talks about bowing ourselves down to the truth. As we're in this process, the Prophet gave us a process that man will reach deific life. But what is I guess my question would be, what is the difference between I am God and even, one of the dangers of that, or one of the dangers that I've always perceived, I've never been able to get further than this understanding, because this conversation, this type of conversation is deeply personal, is the difference between, proclaiming it aloud, and then holding it to yourself is one part of it. And the other part is, at what point can you even hold it to yourself to say, I've reached deific life, versus starting off by saying that I am God. That was my question. Just to clarify any particular confusion. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. I think, Sister, did you have a hand?
Yeah, but
Yeah. Praise Allah.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful discussion on the thought. So let's look at it like this. Chapter 1. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. The bodies, this body, and the souls of men are finite things. See, we're talking about having a consciousness. Now, yeah, here's my body. My body's here, right? My soul is here in this body. But it's something finite. It's not me. But what is me? And they will change, even from the finite point of view. The time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. He's a spirit and a part of Allah. Belief, you think perhaps it's true. Faith, you know it's true. And fruition is when the heart of man is joined with the heart of Allah. The fruition part, when Allah and man are one. The surety. This is sure. This is what the prophets bring. This is the good news. That we're one with Allah. He's closer than my jugular vein where he's in. The more said he's in your heart. He's in me. So right now, you took away this body, put it over here. Took away the soul and put it over here. What's going to be in front of you? The spirit of Brother Clendenin, which is a part of Allah. I am God. Not in a vain, you know what I'm saying? In a vain sense of saying I am Allah. But in a sense, I am. You got to understand that concept, right? Obviously, Allah is the greater. But he took a portion of himself, a part of himself, and put it within, right? Well, it's Anibe. So that's it. But listen, this is not like someone has this answer that someone's going to all agree with. This is all a degree of unfoldment and understanding, right? Because today is man, thank you. Today is your God. And as I unfold, tomorrow is not God. You know what I'm saying? And as I unfold, and the more a man knows, the more a man or woman knows, the more they know they do not know. Isn't that crazy? The more you think you know, the more you do not know. The more you know, the more you realize what the prophet says, the clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. The more you learn, you're like, man, the prophet's so right. So praise Allah. Let's go into the lesson for today. That's all. I'm sorry. Oh, Sister Steele, but I didn't yielded. But Sister Steele, okay.
Islam. Praise the Lord, honest to the prophet, honest to everything pertaining to Islam, honest to everything that our sister did a wonderful job opening the meeting to. And praise the Lord for everything that you gave honest to when you open the meeting. So it's gonna say,
We were talking about the 5 senses at a point, right? And talking about the outer senses, and I was looking back at, Act 5 in our questionnaire additional was, right? All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school. And the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire and let every member exercise his 5 senses was able to do so. Because out from your Sunday school comes the guide of the nation. And I was thinking, for a long time, I had a common misconception about what that meant. You hear the word exercise and you think about doing what you need to do, what you gotta do. One of the 5 senses is not to talk. Nowhere in your 5 senses is talking one of the 5 senses. And so it made me think when I've never been in a classroom where usually the teacher is just asking the students to start teaching on the topic that they read about, as opposed to listening, studying, preparing to answer questions and learn this information so that when the time comes for them to take their test, they're prepared. And usually when the hands are going up, it's usually questions as opposed to comments. And I'm not taking away from the fact that it's a teaching circle, but I was thinking about it because when we talk about bringing the children to Sunday school, there's a certain example that gets set within the aspect of silence, sitting and learning. And so I was, as you were speaking, I was thinking about how important it is to kind of hold your peace, right? And what kind of restraint that takes to allow the teacher to demonstrate their lesson. It's the form of using chapter 5, right? So again, that's Act 5 and then chapter 5 with the roaring of our circles. And so when you said this, it just made me think about a lot about sitting quiet. So with that, I was sitting down quietly and JP.
But you know what? That brought up something I've been meaning to talk about, so let me bring it up in reference to what you said. A few months ago, I was talking about the prophet Confucius. Right? And the prophet has on the nationality card, right? We honor all the divine prophets. Jesus, I'm familiar with that. Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Now, usually when, in this Christian society that we live in, they talk about the Abrahamic religions from Abraham, Adam and Eve, that's perspective. The books of Moses, the Jewish Torah, their understanding of it. The brother just mentioned earlier some of their mysticism, let's say. Buddha and Confucius. Always wondered, ever since the first time I met them, Buddha and Confucius. He's like, Allah giving, like the prophet giving a little shout out to Asia. You know what I'm saying? You know, us in our Western world of thinking, so arrogant, you know, European, the Greeks, the Romans, this whole way of looking at the world, like you know what the world's all about, you know? Like there was nothing going on in Americas before they got here, like there was nothing going on in India, nothing going on in Africa, in China. So I was doing a little research and it seemed that Confucius was kind of in a similar, I was seeing a similar thing that in the world he lived with, there wasn't one China, it was like 8 different kingdoms. And he was part of like one of the smaller ones. And he was trying to figure out how you gonna get these warring factions. So I started to think about all these different Asiatic groups out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the Black Panthers, I'm with the Nation of Islam, I'm with the Moorish American, I'm with the African Methodist Church, I'm with the Baptist, I'm Jehovah's Witness. You know, this is our brothers and sisters, right? Then we got the conscious community and the unconscious community. Listen, I was just born into it. I just trying to swim with the fish, that's all. You know what I'm saying, but Skipper Bay? Go up and sing all his queen. We just trying to swim with the fish, that's all. This is what we saw. So you're looking at it all and you're saying to yourself, they never talk about Buddha and Confucius. And Confucius realized, and he looked back into the golden age he called of China. And what were they doing in the golden age when they was kind of together and not all separate? And they realized they had a certain respect for their ancestors and this relationship, going back to what the sister said, between the student and the teacher. It was a relationship. Not nowadays where the teacher's worrying that she's gonna get shot by her student. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
And the student could care less about the teachers.
yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about that, you know, might have a relationship, you might have seen someone interact with your child,
Mhm.
and you saw they had a genuine love of trying to help your child,
And mom.
and that child showed a genuine respect and gratitude for that help, and that was the relationship. You see what I'm saying? It was a relationship, and then they had a relationship with the ancestors. So they came out and he created all these rituals, whether it was having tea or stopping a certain time of day and all these different things. And then it was talking about how to this day, and I never thought about it, you know how they talk about the Chinese New Year? It says at the Chinese New Year is when the most human beings move around on the planet Earth. Because all of the Chinese people have to get home to pay respect to the ancestors.
That's right.
And when you got 1 billion people trying to follow instructions, right? So then you start thinking to yourself, you say to yourself, nationality, Black Law Dictionary, you know, we all lawyers and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a character and quality, and you know, the Moorish American, right? Oh, come on, give it to us, Sister Jones. You know she read it a few times. She got it from memory. She's about to tell it to me. It's on Sister Jones Bay. Stand up, tell us what nationality is and Black Laws Dictionary.
So actually, the definition came from the first person teaching.
Okay.
The quality, content, and character belonging to a nation or state.
Okay. So think about the Chinese people I just mentioned, right?
Continuity, so on and so forth. Like
Okay.
the Constitution, language, social continuity, so on and so forth. Flag.
Okay. Now think in your mind. Now I'll make you think about it like this. A papa. Here's a guy coming, dating your daughter. She's in high school. She's like 17, 18.
I don't care, leave it.
And she's telling you that he is Chinese. He's an 18-year-old Chinese person. In your mind, you think to nationality, and you in your mind, without stereotyping, you have a kind of thought. You don't think he's gonna be like Biggie Smalls and rapper. You're thinking that he's gonna have a certain character of a Chinese person,
Right.
right? So I started thinking, being honest with each other. And I don't mean African American or Black person. All the Moorish Americans that you know, let's skip it, babe. Put them all together. What is their character? Right? Now, what I want to do, first of all, is all the negative stuff, because they are characters. The Moorish Americans in this society are characters, okay? But let's put that on the side. I started thinking about what are the positive, when I think about Americans, and I think about Moorish Americans, I think about Italian Americans, Chinese Americans, whatever kind of Americans. Can you tell me what American is more up on civics than a Moorish American? The one that's really doing the work. I don't think any, I take the average citizen out there, put them together as Moorish American. And Moorish American break down nationality, citizenship, and everything, right? Now, another thing, when it comes to history of this country and the world, you tell me what other citizen knows the history. Maybe some of them know the history of their own people a little bit more than us, because they've been taught, instructed by their grandparents and their ancestors. They might have an oral tradition and know who they are, right? But you know, the more study. And I was just thinking about all of that energy, Brother Lordio. All of these gods and earths, nations of Islam, Black Panthers, Garvey puppies, all of these soldiers of the prophet, all these cubs, right? We got all this energy, right? Imagine if we took all of those good qualities, right? And we took out the hatred, the slander, the lewdness, the murders, and all that stuff that harms. and just had this pure Moorish American. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Out his square. You know what I'm saying? With his fez and his turban and her turban. Like, can you imagine that? Because that's what we're doing here. You see? We're taking off that stuff because, you know, we come in here and it's hard. You know, you're up there on social media. You know what I'm saying, Brother Coleman here? You be up there on social media, right? And people be saying stuff. And I know the Grand Sheik, he be up there, they're like, oh, he ain't taking nothing. So Huckabee got something to say. They want to have a debate. You know what I'm saying? Some more, they like, no, this is where it's going to be. This is where I'm at. Sister Jefferson Hill, old sister, it's going to be an article about her in the newspaper coming up. She said, whenever they hang that charter or talk about my prophet, I'm going to be there. I was like, oh. I'm like, even if it's the Association of Moorish, wherever they talk about my prophet, I'm going to be there.
That's right.
Right? Sometimes you got to be there. You got to be there up there in Harlem, 125th Street. When he starts talking something, I remember when I came up there, came up to the desk. Brother with the fez on, whatever. I said, Islam. He said, Islam, it's going to be like $25, $20, whatever he said. One came up, oh no, that's Brother Condemning Bay. Oh, no. They're going to charge me to talk about the prophet? Then I went in there and see what they were saying. Sometimes you got to go in there. How you going to straighten your brothers and sisters in the East, Brother Skipper Bay, if you don't go to the East?
Right.
You know? And when you go there, you got to be ready to do battle. But anyway, praise Allah. Let's go into the chapter. We have a few minutes left.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Chapter 6, the ascension. The day star from on high. The day star from on high. Someone tell me what the midnight sun is. Not Brother Skipper Bay. Hold your horses. Go ahead, Brother Smith there. What is the midnight sun? That's an oxymoron. Midnight. Not an eclipse now. Come on.
Is it the brightest star in the night sky?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. I'll take it.
You wanna go now? Go ahead.
Islam. Praise God already given. So I'm going to deduce that because the sun and the moon reflects the light of the sun, that the midnight sun, being that it would be late hours, but the moon is still shining, would be the moon.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but I just wanted to be my one.
It's not actually literal. Start with that, okay? So let's think about it like this. Midnight, when you think about midnight, you think about darkness.
Yes.
The sister try to relate, well, I got the moon reflects off the sun. The brother is trying to, relate. In your darkness, there's a light. That light inside of you is the midnight sun. My portion, right? So the thing is, in our ascension, as a woman, as a man thinketh, so he is. So we have to change our thoughts. The prophet said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. So chapter 6, when they're using these expressions, when you think to yourself, why is the prophet saying these things to me? Does he just want to give me a thought about Jesus being a little boy? Does he just want to give me Islam, Sister Seal too? Islam.
Now you came and dropped the mic and stepped back behind the podium.
That's it.
Right, so I just want to know.
That's it. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
All right, understood. All right.
Everybody got to play a role in their own salvation.
Praise Allah. Figure it out.
All right.
Go look it up.
I'm
if you can.
from the generation,
Okay.
we don't give it to the children, right, Brother Skipper Bay? We don't give them all that. We give them a little something. We give them a little push on the bike, but we're not standing the whole time. We let them fall down, bust their leg. We do. Now, meanwhile, mama got the knee pads on, the helmet. Ain't like that. When my little brother, whoever pushed me the first time, I went down, busted my knee or whatever like that, I got up in my mind, I said, well, don't lean that way too much anymore. Because if you lean one way or the other, you going down. So right away, when I got back up the next time, I'm thinking about my knee. Not my knee pad, not my training wheels. I don't even remember training wheels. They got training wheels now. I'll probably put your little computer on the bike and a little app to how you have to drive it and everything. So now children don't have to do anything. But you're gonna have to do something here. So let's just look at this. I want to look at this chapter. And I want to see if certain things pop out to you that the prophet wants me to know or think about certain things here. Not just the story. All right? A royal prince in India, Ravana in the south, was met at the Jewish feast. Ravana was a man of wealth, and he was just with a band of Brahmin priests and sought wisdom in the West. Question right there. I got a hand up already. Wait a minute. Rich people, they don't do that. First of all, rich people aren't usually just. Right?
That's all.
He starts off with he's rich, he's royal, right? They do whatever they want to do. So now it's telling me that it related to the chapter on rich and the poor. You know, those that are favored of heaven, who have riches and a mind to employ them aright. So you can be a righteous rich person, which we don't see a lot, but it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying, brother? You could be a righteous rich person, you know? So he was a man of wealth, and he was just, and he was with a band of Brahmin priests, sought wisdom in the West. So let's visualize this. And we're taught to seek wisdom in the East. To the East. Because we're in the West. But the wise people in the East seek wisdom in the West. And now, because of the silent brotherhood and what's going on, North America is going to be the source of the light. Okay? Right? And if you think about it, it's very deep. You know what I'm saying? The esoteric plan that we're living in. But going back to this, so that, first of all, making me think about that. Then it says here, when Jesus stood among the Jewish priests and read and spoke, Ravana heard and was amazed. And when he asked who Jesus was, from whence he came, and what he was, Chief Hillel said, we call this the day star from on high. For he comes to bring to men a light, the light of light, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel. So that to me is just like looking at the front of this. And if you could say here that we call Prophet Noble Drew Ali the day star from on high. And he has come to bring to the Moors and to men a light, the light of light, to lighten up the way of man, the cares in the world, right? Drowning in the cares of the world, the prophet's lifting up humanity and redeem his people of Moab, all right? Of America here, all right? And Hillel told Ravana all about the child, about the prophecies concerning him, prophecies. The end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. The prophecies, the prophets have come and told about certain things that are coming. Just like the prophet says, if you don't believe I'm a prophet, watch my prophecies. All right? Barack Obama, part of the prophecies. All right? The temple's dwindling down to a handful, part of the prophecies. The Moors not knowing what the prophet bought after 50 years, part of the prophecy. But if the Moors were careful, the Moors are careful, because he said, if you're not careful, 50 years from now, you won't even know him. So praise a lot of Moors have been careful enough that here we are in 2024 in the Moorish Science of America studying about the prophet. All right? So, brother, skip it back Islam.
Islam. So I just had a thought, when it came to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Oh, it says here in the statement, the divine constitution and bylaws. It says, with us, all builders must proclaim their nationality. If we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they're not Negroes, black folks, Negroes, colored people, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now. And all men now must reclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet. Ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem the people from their sinful way. There's a lot in that, because he's talking about a new era of time. He's talking about being recognized in this government by having a new free national name, not even a new, but of a free national name, right? Why is it important to have that free national name to be recognized in this government? And one of the things I'm looking at is due to the fact that when it comes to nationality, the Moorish American nationality is the legal name as a free national name that is given to us by law, a lawgiver, which is the prophet. And he did the work in this government to make that happen. And
Brother Skipper, let me just take care of the secretary's time. We got a few minutes. Let me finish up this thought in the chapter,
yeah,
and we'll get right to that. I appreciate that. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. So in the chapter, so we see the prince. You want to find out about the prophet. All right. We're talking about the prophecies concerning him, about the wonders of the night, is instruction 6. When he was born, about the visit of the Magian priest, about the way in which he was protected from the wrath of evil men, about his flight to Egypt land, and how he then was serving with his father as a carpenter in Nazareth. So that whole part there, you should be thinking about that. That should open up a whole study of prophecy. What is he talking about? Why does the prophet have 1 foot on the land and 1 foot on the sea? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Open up the book of the 7 seals. This is the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. When Elihu Salom said, from olden times it was ordained that you. So Isaiah said. So that right there, so I'm a Moorish American, the prophet's telling me I should know something about some prophecy. That's what that's telling me. Do I know about prophecy? At least I should know about some portion of prophecy. Magian priests. Who are these Magian priests? The Magi comes from the word magic, comes Magi and magic. Like what this is telling me, I'm paying attention. So it's giving me a couple of things. I'm going to start a little bit about prophecies. I want to study a little bit more about these Magi. I want to find out how did they know that Jesus, how did they know about the prophecy? That's what that part is telling me. Not just giving you a story. Oh, wow, there was this story and this is Jesus. No, he was amazed about the way he was protected, about the flight to Egypt. This is beautiful here. All right, say, and with his gorgeous train, he journeyed and came to Nazareth of Galilee. So imagine he's got this, like, man, he's like greater than a pope. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen that movie Golden Child? You know, when the Dalai Lama incarnation. You ever see the religious figures, how they hold them? So here you got the day star on high, the wonders of the night, the prophecies unfolding. I'm expecting when I see him, he's gonna be in a bunch of white pillows with servants all around him, right? Just imagine how you can imagine how to see this brother that you're gonna run up on, right? So he says here, he found the object of his search engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men. Huh? the day star from on high is a carpenter? Or is he really trying to get you to focus that he's building? Or is he building the dwellings, building the temples? Is he building the physical building? Or does it represent him building, you know what I'm saying, dwellings for the sons of men? And when he first saw Jesus, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hand a compass, square, and axe. That must relate to the other chapter, in the workshop of the mind. So you're building dwelling, but you're using the workshop of the mind tools. You see where this is going, Morris? A 12-step ladder. Ravana saw this and he said, all hail, most favored son of heaven. And at the end, Ravana made a feast for all the people of the town, and Jesus and his parents were the honored guests. For certain days, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home on Merriman. He sought to learn the secret of the wisdom of the son, but it was all too great for him. And then he asked that he might be the patron of the child and take him to the east, where he could learn the wisdom of the Brahm. And Jesus longed to go, that he might learn. And after many days, his parents gave consent. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. We're gonna finish up this chapter next week. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be here. I'll probably try to go down and see that new grandbaby again.
Ah.
More
praise
Zoom.
Allah.
So Condemned Baby's on the move. I'll see you on Zoom. I'm sure we got plenty of people when opportunity knocks.
Praise the Lord.
Praise Allah. That's right.
Right, right, Sister Jonathan? Yeah, opportunity knocks. So praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
I'm gonna read the warning. We have the muftis, acting muftis.
Definitely time.
Yes, I deputized you. Look, I deputize you every meeting. In advance.
That's right.
January 15th, 1929, Prophet warns all Muslims, governor's order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the street. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans to cause confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card button, cease wearing their turban affairs, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sin by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Islam. So if we could have, Brother Skipper Bay, if you don't mind, helping us out. Sister Sylvia, can you help us out?
Praise Allah.
All right, we got that. All right, we have Secretary, Sister Jordan now.
Public and traveling, public and traveling, public.
Oh, Lord, if you open that door back up for me,
Praise Allah.
Sister Jordan now.
Traveling? That's what's the end of another.
Oh, it's Sister M. Jordan.
Yeah.
No, Sister Jordan now also.
She's there, brother?
Islam.
You hear me?
Secretary.
Islam, we can hear you.
Islam, and honors to praise Allah and honors to His holy prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The
Yeah,
announcement.
thank you for asking.
Hold on just a second. Praise Allah. Islam. Just to remind the Moors that Friday is our holy day. 7:30, 10 p.m. And also on Sunday from 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. Additionally, I wanted to remind the Moors that next Sunday, which will be the first Sunday of the month in May, we'll have our Sisters Auxiliary meeting. All sisters and that are members of the Moorish Science Temple of America are members of the Sisters Auxiliary. So we welcome you to our meeting. I wanted to make the announcement that for those who are interested in becoming a sheik, we have our sheik training. And we have one of them upcoming. If you are interested in becoming a sheik, please talk to Grand Sheik W. Condenenbe and let him know. And our trainings are held every third Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m. on Zoom with the same number that we're dialing in at the moment. Also, just to remind them more is that we have the Brothers Retreat. If they're interested, it's a 1 day. It's just from 11 to 6 in Philadelphia. It's May 25th. It's coming up. It's a $40 donation. It's being held at Temple 11 in Philadelphia. So if you're interested in attending or you plan on attending, please let one of the sheiks know so that we can keep an eye out for you in your travel. On Thursdays, we have our question and answer. It's our weekly conference call every Thursday. If you have any questions, you can come and pose them there. And it is led by our Grand Sheik, Brother W. Clendenin And again, that's Thursdays at 7:30 to go to about 8:30, a little bit over sometimes, but it's a pretty good call. We have our morning prayer. If you're up and able to join us at 6 a.m. for the prayer and Quran reading. It's held by Temple 75, but everyone, all the Moors are joining, and it's just a great way to start the day. As we know, men need a pattern for their lives. Praise Allah. And the only other thing I wanted to remind the Moors is that the camp out is coming up in July. If you're planning on attending, there's a sign up list that you can put your name on. I put it in the chat yesterday. I'll post it again into our group, but it's the Moorish National Home #1. They're having their annual Camp Out and Family Day celebration. It's July 4th to July 6th. And again, you have to pre-register. So if you're interested, I will again post all this in the current chat in the Zoom. It is available in our Facebook chat. And if you are able or if you have access to Facebook, you can find us as well as Instagram under Moorish Science Temple NO number 34. With that, I'll say peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord. Any other hands? Nope. Praise the Lord. Sister Sylvia,
That's I know that was starting in all the birthdays. I know the 22nd, Grand Sheik back there, woo-hoo. Brother Waters Cyrus, T. Cyrus' birthday, the 22nd, woo-hoo. We got the boys out here. We have also Brother X King Day, and in 2 days, we have Trinity's birthday coming up.
Taurus
Did we talk about this?
It's not Taurus season, it's Taurus.
Oh, excuse me, Katie Night God.
Capricorns have a seat till next year.
Prophets around all year.
Aquarius is the Pisces, We're gonna go with Taurus for a little bit, then we're gonna switch up into Gemini. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a Gemini, I had 2 sisters that were Gemini. Also another Taurus, Sister Williams, October 21, she's a Taurus. Either end of the month.
This month?
And towards the end of May, right before maybe the beginning of May.
Praise Allah.
Also, my daughter-in-law, Marcus's wife's a Taurus.
Oh.
Tasha's daughter, Naelle, is a Taurus.
Oh.
No?
Sister
Karen Hunter, your father, Karen. Who else?
Sister A. Jones Bay is a Taurus on Drama Day.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's just like the energy I told you about. Taurus is a great When they're stubborn and bold, but they're going in the right direction. When they're stubborn and bullish and going in the wrong direction, that's the expression that bull in the China, in the China shop. You know what I mean? All right, so think about it. Now we always joke around with it, right? But on a higher level, look at it like this. And we're gonna get to Brother Skipper Bay's question and comment he made earlier. If you look at the zodiac as the 12-step ladder, but not that you have to, that I'm here, I'm a Taurus, I'm on this level, whatever, but that you need to fulfill all the 12 steps. You know, we always talk about, oh, the great characteristics of a Taurus, but then there's the negative side. The great characteristics of the Aquarius, but then the negative side. You know what I'm saying? All the signs have this positive and then, but there's parts that's not so great. So imagine if you took all the great parts and got rid of all the not so great parts. And then you yourself is all of the great attributes of Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, Capricorn, all in yourself.
That's all.
Because that's all, they was just looking at the stars and looking at things and trying to relate that to the great God
That's right.
and what's inside themselves.
That's right.
So you are all of those things,
Praise Allah.
you know? Praise Allah. It's on, Brother Chairman.
It's all more.
All right, praise Allah.
Wow.
So Brother Skipper Bay is talking about this new era. This new era. So let me just say this real quick. So Brother Skipper Bay, let's see, he had a friend at work. And this friend was a Mexican. Right? He met him at work. He's just gonna be in the country for a few days. Talked about the prophet. He left, he came back. They had a friendship. One day in that friendship, he told us, Skip, I want to go to this temple. You always tell me about the prophet. And he comes and he's in love with the prophet. And he wants to join. So with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. So he would say, and if he's not even a citizen of the United States, he says, I'm a Mexican. This is our new member, so-and-so Mexican. He wouldn't get no Baal on his name. They already know who he is. You see? Now that same brother that's a Mexican, if he's in his government, his own government, and they ask you, who are you? He says, I'm a Mayan. I'm an Inca. Isn't that we're Mexicans here? They have a constitutional government all bearing one free national name. This is the whole thing with the 1928 Basmani codes and the prophet going to Cuba, is how in this new era of time, not a new age, but a new era, where the imperialists and the colonialists have went into these various countries, divided us some up, not even naturally, got rid of all these different things, and now you're sitting here saying it's the country of Mexico, or it's this, and it used to be the Incas and the Aztecs, it used to be the Moabites, it used to be this, it used to be that, and it's not that anymore. Well, how do you function? And the prophet says that if you don't answer up to the constitutional name, when you're and with your government, if you're not saying you're Japanese in Japan or Mexican in Mexico, we know who you were, who your ancient ones, but that's what you have to do. So now with the Moorish Americans, since they didn't even know what their descent is, the prophet had to let them know. He says, all true Americans know that you're classified by your descent name. All right, so Brother Skipper Bay, I know you was mentioning that, talking about that. What else? Or anyone else have a comment or question about what we were talking about? Thank you, Mo. Peace.
Peace. Well, you know, you went where I wanted to go with this.
Okay.
And where it says, we call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring men a light, the light of light, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people Israel. You know, that's interesting that the prophet gives us these teachings pertaining to Israel. Because we're people of so many mixed bloods. Right? And if you go back 2,000 years ago, the nationality could have been Israel, you know, in a state of Israel. even though we have more by blood. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But being that we are in the state of Israel, the nationality could have been Israel. You see what I'm saying? So it's just about what I was trying to say, go back to what you were saying, that the legal name now, as in nationality, is Moorish American, regardless of who or where you're from. Because that's how the prophet set it up. He set it up in this government. He put it back into this government so we don't have to use any of the names that allude to slavery no more. Whether it's Israel, black, colored folks, Negroes, or anything. Because all the other names have slavery attached to them. Even Israel have slavery attached to it. The name Israel as well. So we wouldn't even be able to use that name as a free national name. You wouldn't be able to use black or any other of those names that allude to slavery. But the only, and what ties this in as us being Moorish Americans is our ancient forefathers who was of the Moroccan Empire that came here before the great earthquake which caused the Atlantic Ocean. We tie into them as it being descendants of Moroccans born in America. We ties into those Moroccans that were from the empire before the earthquake. Understand me, because we always go back to history, but we go back to history all the time across the Atlantic. But what about before there was Atlantic? How about that? Let's go back to that history. How do we go in and tie ourselves into that history? And that's what the prophet did. He tied us into that history before there was Atlantic Ocean. That the Moroccan Empire was already here and set up. And when you go back in some records, you can find that it's one of the empires that is the first. Because the biblical record tells you that the first government structure of the world was Babylon. That was the first government structure of the world. And when you go back, you can see that that is still the Moroccan Empire. That's still a part of the Moroccan Empire, Babylon. So right now, we're still in the Moroccan Empire. Right now, today, that's why the prophet said, this is my present Moroccan Empire. Peace.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. You know, when we think about discussion, I thank Brother Skipper so much. Think about what the prophet said. The prophet said is that the nation state is the foundation of mankind. The nations. Nation is a family, right? So we got, some people got different bloodlines. You know, I was just reading here, so my sister, any of y'all do that DNA test, ancestry, right? So it's saying here, now my sister, right? I believe we have the same parents. Many of y'all know, so on my mother's side, 22% Germanic, 15% Swedish, Denmark, 12% England, Northwest Europe, 1% Jewish. This is what they send it back. And my father got 22% Nigerian, 3% England, Northwest Europe, 6% Mali, 6% Benin, Togo, 5% Cameroon, Congo, Western Bantu people, 4% Senegal, 3% Ghana, Ivory Coast. Right?
Wow.
Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites, Moabites, and inhabitants of Africa. We all got a lot of different blood in us, Moors. But where's your allegiance?
One national land.
Right? Right? So that's where when people start they don't have no allegiance to this American flag. Well, I'm not, and then in 2024, I'm not gonna be with you with that one. You got no allegiance to this flag, I'm not with you. Allegiance is the nation, the family you're with. Even back in the day, we know the story about with Ruth and Naomi, right? That Ruth was a Moabite. But once she went to Israel, where's her allegiance? She becomes part of the Israelite nation. That's her allegiance. That's where her son is. That's where her husband Boaz is. That's where her mother-in-law is from, her previous husband. You know, like I tell them Moors, me being born to my mother and my father, if my father would have stayed in Germany and lived in Germany, and whether he came over to America, I'm still the same person. But where my allegiance is, what's my citizenship, my nationality be different. Right? But that's what I was saying earlier, Moorish Americans and studying. Because sometimes I find myself, you might find it too, you be talking to some of your friends, especially Europeans, and you tell them more about their history than they know. Like how many Irish people know about the history of the Moors in Ireland? Or even the British knows about the history of the Moors in Britain. How many people know there was an Asiatic emperor of Rome? You know what I'm saying?
Just a hand from Brother Jay Coleman.
Okay, let's see how much time we got left.
It's about 3:51.
All right, Brother Coleman, Sister Sealsdale. Brother Coleman, Islam. You gotta unmute yourself, Brother Coleman.
Islam, praise Allah, honors to the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Holy comfort of the Asiatic nation, ye all the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And we separate in the world, remember the relations that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his cares be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah, Sister Sealsdale.
Yes, Mom.
Islam.
I was thinking as we were, because it's read through the entire chapter.
Mhm.
I was thinking about not long before that, Jesus had ran off and was arguing with the doctors of the law, disputing, right? So not long before that, this is where Ravana happened to obviously see him, because it said he was met at the Jewish feast. And right before that, the Jewish feast or the great feast was Passover, which I think just recently passed, as they may observe nowadays. And then it was like Ravana was a man of wealth, right? So here I go, and I'm like looking at it like a mom, right? I was thinking, I'm like, this man was watching my baby. What are you doing, Pop? He done popped up. Talking about now he want to take him away and hold on to him and teach him for many days. I'm like, who is this brother Joseph? Go check that out, right? It's probably the thought that comes in the mind as a mom. But when you understand from the beginning, and they had that opportunity to be prepared by Elihu as the loan. And Elihu had pumped their brakes once before. I was like, there's nothing amazing here. Calm down. You know, Lord governs all of it.
So Michaela at 12, right?
No.
Some rich man from India comes up in here, right?
Listen.
And he's gonna take her
Where?
to India.
Oh, listen. All right. Where's she? I think it's big.
And he wants to be the patron. Because see, Jesus' story might have not worked if you was his mother, right? You'd be like, oh, Jesus ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is 12, he's 12 years
Now you
old.
get me. Now you get me.
Joseph is like, he's going to India? And you're like, no, he's not going to India. I'm just messing with you.
No, I know what you're saying.
Well, listen, didn't Jesus and his mom have that little moment back at Jerusalem?
That's why Joseph had to step in and go and tell him to fix the house up, because your mama's a little upset right now. She's trying to get things together. Let's give her a moment to process all those things. Like, come on outside. You know what I'm saying? Come on outside. That was a demonstration. But I was gonna ask, instruction 2, excuse me, the divine instruction number 2. Ravana was the man of wealth. and he was just. And with a band, you know, usually when I hear band, I think Band of Thieves, right? You know, of course, that's my conditioning, watching certain shows and things like that, but when you hear the word band, right? So I was thinking about it, what, like with a band, you know, of Brahmic priests, because usually you hear a band of people going somewhere. Last time you see a group of religious people going, it was the Inquisition, you know what I'm saying? So I was thinking to myself, as he was going and it was a band of priests, what were in that, like, how much would you consider a band? Because if he had a lot of money on him, you know, he had some stacks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this had a band.
That's it.
talking about the matchup?
No, no.
So
it's
we're
all
talking about
around.
the, chapter 6.
But I think when you look at it, if you go further in the chapter, we're gonna finish it up next week.
Mhm.
But if we look, you see the end of the chapter? You see the end of the chapter?
Yes.
It says in 17, it says, then with proud heart, Ravana with his train began the journey toward the rising sun. All right, so I'm thinking that, you know, he had a few 100,000 people with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how some of the rich people used to travel back then. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how, you know, I think he's wealthy. Like you said, he had a band of priests. So right there, so now royalty, that means they have people, they gotta travel, they came all the way from India.
I got homework. I'm gonna look up that number. see
Yeah,
what it
you
means.
look up that number.
Ravana,
You
yeah.
tell me if they was playing instruments too, because I know you're gonna get in depth on it.
Right.
Why did they use the word band?
Why? And not a
Were they
tribe?
banded together, right?
Yes.
I got you.
Rope color.
Let's do the financial report. This up. And before the brother gives a financial report, okay, stand up more. Stand up more. Just the seals here. This brother's trying to do an outstanding job.
Try it. I thought he's been doing an
No, no, no.
outstanding job. Oh, praise
You don't
God.
get no 100, sister.
Oh, okay.
They don't have nothing to strive for.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
He's at a
I
93,
give Trini an
98.
A minus. You got the A, but the minus, cause then, you know, guys, if you got like, I got an A plus, you know? No, but he did an excellent job yesterday. I mean, excuse me, last week, Sunday, on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? None of the ministers were available, whatever and everything. And he wanted to do the grand chic, and I'm like, nah, you do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate that one, Chris.
He
And
even made it onto the Sunday school where I was at Temple 75. He logged in on Zoom. I saw his name pop up. So he made.
so we talk about the teachers and the student. He's the student that brings the apple, not the mouthwash. Okay? Remember that.
I got the.
All right, Brother Smith, praise the Lord.
I'm gonna see some of one of your months.
I see you as well, big brother.
Sign. More Signs Temple of America, Temple number 34, finance received for April the 28th, 2024. Public collection received $9, Morse Remedies, $12, Uplifting Fund, $11, Travel Fund, $3, and Local Building Fund, $5, coming out to a grand total of $40, and the total attendance in person and online of 26. Just sign.
Praise the Lord. You've heard the reading of our financial report. What's the woman's pleasure in the morning? Brother C. Ferguson here?
Islam, first I rise and give praise to Allah, the Prophet Divine Faith and the day of Islam. I move that the financial report be accepted with necessary correction that they be added. Peace.
Peace. Sister Seals here?
That's mom. I second that motion.
It's been moved by Brother C. Ferguson, your chairman, second by Sister C. Seals, your assistant grand chief. That the financial report be accepted with any necessary corrections if there be. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor, show by the Morris way of saying Islam. All opposed, same sign. Praise the Lord. Secretary, we note that the motion has been carried. If somebody needs to reach out to Sister Passmore, you know what I'm saying? We need to get it on tape or something, you know, to give us the official version, but brother's doing a very good job. Praise the Lord. All right, anything else, Sister Seals?
Islam? Hope the Morris travel home safely. I hope that you keep up to date with just the little weather and the news and things like that. And get your allergy season under control by taking your little vitamin D if you can, but it's for this at least boost your body. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Don't remember, brother Rockleberry Bay, you still there? That's my more today. Yeah, he thought it was over with. But no. Come on, brother Rockleberry Bay, I just saw you, more.
Still here? I'm still here.
You chilling out in the park or something? What's going on, more?
I enjoyed the day. I had to soak up some of these rays right in the day.
You remember the homework we all have to have by August, right?
I didn't hear that question. Say it one more time.
Remember the homework assignment, all the more by August? We're gonna all know 101 answers in the questionnaire?
Yes, I'm studying. I study every day. I was hoping you called me to answer some of these questions. Cross my fingers.
Stay ready, praise Allah. Guess you got a question for him?
It's 4 o'clock, more. Yeah, catch me at 2:30 next time. I'll have something for you.
All right, I'm studying.
Praise Allah, Morris. Praise Allah for everyone, for the beautiful spirit. Remember, we're all family, brothers and sisters of the light. We got a lot of conflict that comes between us. We want to fight it out, we want to duke it out, we want to spit it out, we want to argue it out, we want to call each other names, accuse each other. And that's the way of the lowest self. So hopefully you were able to raise yourself up in your thoughts today. Hopefully you can maintain that. It's all about maintaining. Because Jesus went through all he went, but it wasn't until he got to the camps of John when he said he left the camps of John in the consciousness. In the consciousness of holy breath. So let us try to remind ourselves to be conscious that I am.
It's right there. You about to knock on the table.
Someone call Maltese. Allah bless everybody. Autumn. Time to rise and shine, Autumn. Let's show us what you got.
Stop playing.
Father universe.
Father universe.
Father of love.
Father of love. Truth.
Peace.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
My God.
Allah is my protector. My guide.
My God.
And my salvation.
By night.
And by night.
Through his holy prophet.
Amen.
Amen. Praise Allah.
Amen.
Amen. Peace, boss.
Peace, boss.